Good evening. This is Grow Your Ayurvedic Business, Week 12, our final week in the program on group programs and partnerships. I'm Jacob Griscom, and this is an Everyday Ayurveda production. Tonight, as always, let's start with our opening preparation and meditation. Feel fully the content that we're going to be talking about here tonight. Open yourself up fully. And tonight's going to be a night for certainly implementation, but a lot of visioning, a lot of bigness. So hold a big space for yourself and for our community tonight. And to facilitate that, of course, turn off any distractions, cell phone, text messaging, email programs, instant messaging. Create a quiet and focused space for yourself. And let's go in. Calm your breath, calm your mind, come into the present moment. You can listen to the sound of the breath, so-hum meditation. Open your body, feel your inner body, your energy body, the bridge to the deeper layers of being. Feel our group, our Ayurvedic community. Allow yourself to be felt. And let's spend some breaths deepening this state together. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodaya. Om. Namaste. This topic of group programs and group partnerships, let's set the stage. Let's talk about why this is step 5, why this is such a natural next step in unfolding in your business, in your practice. And the first is that it's about community. It's about enrichment of your community. Group programs and partnerships engage your clients, engage your community with each other, right? With each other to support the collective evolution of health and consciousness. So you don't need to do it all by yourself. You can serve as a catalyst. You can build something that then begins to have a life of its own. You open up a door that others can walk through and then carry the mantle with you. They may even carry it further than you individually would have energy to. There may be individuals that are tremendous supports, and in fact, that's likely so. And if you don't build group programs and partnerships, then you're not including the collective. So your impact is limited to a one-on-one model. And the work that we do with our clients one-on-one is significant, right? But working with clients one-on-one for many, many years is always going to be a limited model. When you get into groups, when you get into partnerships, you're able to extend that impact through culture, through systems, so much further. And so the second reason why is that it's also about leverage. So if we're looking at 1 hour of time between the model of one-on-one, alone, I always recommend, I think it's always important to have one-on-one clients. But to really see that your business, your practice over time moves you towards more and more of a culture and systems builder, which means more groups, more partnerships. So if you have 1 hour of time, the clients factor with a one-on-one model is working with one client. With groups, depending on how you structure it, there truly is no limit. No limit to how many clients you can work with in a single hour. The income, of course, right, for a one-on-one client during an hour. Let's say that you've set your rates well. You've put yourself in the, say, $500 to $1,500 a month range with your clients. The range that I recommend that sets you up to really be honoring the value of the work that you provide on par with any other professional. Then your hourly rate is somewhere around maybe $200 per hour. But with a group, you have whatever your dollar rate is per person times the number of people, the number of clients that you have. So even in a very small group, you look at this example, you see how much of a difference that can make. If you have a group program with 10 people in it, and those people are paying $50 each, say $50 per hour or per session, per week, however you set that up, then now you're earning $500 per hour. You're impacting 10 people, right? You're working with 10 people, 10 clients, and you're making more than double your hourly rate for one-on-one work. Now put another zero behind that. What if it was 100 people? You've just put yourself into the $5,000 per hour category. So it's about leverage. Serving more people, making more income, and then again, having more impact. More impact. With that same hour of time, let's look at the impact. With one-on-one coaching, it's direct, right? It's personal, and it is deep. It's very significant. We don't want to take away from that and always have that as a very important tier of the work that you do with people. But when you do that one-on-one work with someone, it's very intimate, personal. But with groups, you have the direct impact of working with each of those individuals, right? Potentially, depending on the way that you set your groups up. But you also have the collective impact. You have the interaction these clients have with each other. You have the community building. You have the culture building aspect. So in many ways, your impact, again, is also leveraged beyond the one-on-one model. So it's a win on all fronts here. The same hour of time, more clients, more income, more impact. So let's review again a chunk of integral Ayurveda, the collective interior and the exterior. This is really the space that we're working in step 5, group programs and your partnerships. The collective interior, again, is culture. It's the we space. It's that collective consciousness. So group programs and partnerships evolve the collective consciousness and create a field that's more powerful than any one individual alone. Right? You're creating a field that collectively is more powerful than any one individual alone. We're part of these all of the time, and we tend to we tend to really kind of become aware of it when it's an emotionally charged or significant time. You feel like, oh wow, you're really in a group consciousness right now. But that's happening all of the time. You're always in different levels of group consciousness. Your most immediate group consciousness is probably with your most immediate, intimate relationship or relationships, your partner, your friends that you spend a lot of close time with, children, right? But then that, of course, is part of the broader groups that you belong to, your community, your broader community, the country that you're a part of. And then obviously we have a world consciousness. We have a basic center of gravity of where the world is at right now. All of those are happening all of the time. So when you create a group, you create a collective consciousness. You create a space that someone steps into, and when they share now in that intention for the group program, the collective consciousness, it's more about just one additional into the field. There's actually a multiplier factor. If you have 4 people in the group, the overall quality of this is really 4 times 4, it's 16, not just 4. In all of our different sacred texts, you read different passages that basically speak to the power of devotees, for example, meditating together, entering into conscious space together, that it's more powerful than those individuals alone, and it's even more powerful than just the sum of those individuals. It's actually multiplied. The collective exterior is systems, right? The it space, how different its fit together. So group programs and partnerships are systems. They are systems. And their structures both reflect and they reinforce the collective consciousness. They reflect the culture and they reinforce the culture. So if we look at all of the systems that we're a part of right now, our economic systems, our political systems, environmental systems, educational systems, all of the systems that we have in place right now in our current time, our current age, both reflect the dominant culture and serve to reinforce it. So which changes first, the chicken or the egg? Does the system change and then that changes the culture? Or does the culture, the collective consciousness change and then that changes the system? Well, when we play integral, we don't have to play the either-or game. We recognize that it's always both. It's always both. Systems reflect and reinforce culture. Culture generates and is influenced by systems. So let's look at group program structures. How exactly do you set these up? The first thing is we should make a couple of distinctions. Group program structures are either term, right, where you're working with people for a set period of time, or they're continuity. They're ongoing. Right, so we have both of these. The Grow Your Ayurvedic Business program has been a term program, 3 months, 12 weeks. And anyone who steps into this has that same term, 12 weeks, 3 months. But then we have our ongoing community, our Everyday Ayurveda Mastermind program, which are your individual practitioner mastermind groups, our weekly group coaching calls, and anything else we add in to the overall flow and structure, something that provides ongoing value, something to continually be a part of, to continue to be nourished by, to contribute to gain from. So term, when you create a term program, I recommend that you have both. You really create both. They fit together. With a term, you work with a group of clients for a period of time, and you take them through a step-by-step system of education and implementation. And then you can build into that a buddy or a mastermind system, right? So you're already familiar with the mastermind system where you have typically 3 to 5 people, and you're supporting each other with the education and implementation. Buddy system is very similar. A buddy system, you typically just give somebody a partner, and they support each other with weekly accountability, with support, with having another person to bounce ideas and questions off of, to basically feel that they're not doing the program alone. So you build in a buddy or a mastermind system so that clients support each other. Of course, the other thing that that's really building is community that goes right into continuity. Once community is built, just like imagine in your Ayurvedic programs, if when you had graduated, that wasn't the end. If you had been just automatically ushered into a continuity program, a way to stay connected, keep learning. It's one of the areas when I'm working with the schools as partners, I feel like it's one of the great opportunities to really fill a need, is to have all of their graduates be part of an ongoing, consciously built collective community, right, versus an endpoint. So that's a term program. And a term program, once you've done it live once, if you record it, if you create materials around it, you also create the opportunity to have now a product, right, something that people can enter into at any time. So a term, you've got a choice here. You can either continue to just do ongoing live programs. You can do them over and over and over again. And or you can record them. You can create products out of them, things that people can enter into at any time. Of course, that's really important to do if you want to take the next step of leverage, which is to create the products, information products that you can begin to market virtually outside of your local area using the World Wide Web to affect the next level of people. And then continuity programs, these are, again, your ongoing support programs that build lasting community. So you can have term clients continue into the continuity programs and or, so that's the most common one, you have term clients continue into the continuity programs and or continuity clients may become term clients. So you may have an ongoing group or program that's a doorway in for deeper clients, right? If somebody's not ready to do maybe, for whatever reason, the full commitment, the full investment in a one-on-one program with you isn't there, the full commitment, the full investment in a group program, a committed term group program, for whatever reason, the timing or whatever else, it's just not a fit, then you can actually have continuity programs that are just lower barrier to entry, lower price point, easier access, typically, obviously, less potential depth, but a way for clients to come in the door through continuity, through ongoing access to you that way. And then that can build into them deciding that they'd like to do a term program. I'll give an example. I'm part of the Mankind Project, which is probably the largest, the most significant organization in the world at this time focused on men's work, right? Helping men become more conscious, complete, fulfilled in their lives. And the two most, there's so many different levels and aspects of everything that Mankind Project does, but the two main things are the main thing is, the main initiation is the New Warrior Training Adventure. It's a weekend, and men go into it, and it's life transformative for them. It's a deep introduction to the community. And then after these weekends, these New Warrior training adventures, there are iGroups. An iGroup stands for an integration group. So it's a chance for these new initiates, often they're called New Warrior brothers, right? Men that are living these more conscious lives, to continue community, right? It's a continuity program, and it's free. There's no cost to it in this case. But it's a way to be a part of an ongoing community of men that are living these conscious lives, supporting each other. So in that case, you've got this term program, and the term is just a weekend in that case. And then the continuity program, which is a weekly iGroup or integration group. Now, a lot of these iGroups are open. They're open to non-initiated men. And it's actually a way that a lot of men learn about Mankind Project. Is a man in their lives will invite them and say, would you like to come to our iGroup, our men's group? Check it out sometime. It's a great place to get support, to be able to share your feelings, what's going on in your life right now, and just truly feel that there's a safe gathering of men, a safe place for brothers to get together. So a man will often come into an open iGroup like that, get the experience, and may be a part of it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and then out of that choose to do the initiation. I mean, it's typically any man that comes to an iGroup on a regular basis from there wants to do the initiation. They feel the power, they feel the significance, the depth of the men in the group, the value they've gotten from that program, so they're naturally hungry for it. So you can think of it that way as well. You can also have a continuity program that's an easier access, a way that people get involved with your work, to get connected with your other clients, that may be one-on-one clients or group program clients that are able to just demonstrate by the nature of how they communicate and the space that they're holding, the depth that they're getting, the value that they're getting from working with you. So naturally, someone comes into that space, they're going to have a desire, they're going to have an impulse to do some deeper work with you. So you can go from term to continuity, or continuity to term, or both. Your mission and your vision is another key thing to develop at this stage. And I will say this also, obviously, as one of the homework, one of the PDFs that I'll be creating for this section, or that if you're watching the replay you'll see below you right now, is some more details on really thinking through your group program, specifically some structures that I like a lot for your continuity programs, like a weekly meeting, as well as for your structured term programs. So I'll give you, again, a deeper layer of ways that you can put those programs together, some things that I like, that I've used for a long time, that I've coached other practitioners to implement, and that are consistently really effective structures and programs of support. They add a lot of depth, a lot of value. So again, your mission and your vision. Here's the easiest way. There are lots of definitions for mission statements and vision statements. So I'm going to make it very, very simple here. Think of your mission statement like this. Think of your mission statement simply as your what you do statement plus the way that you do what you do. In other words, what are your services? So it ends up sounding like your what you do statement. We help, or I help. The mission of my business is to help these people, whoever your prospective clients are, achieve or get these results that they want to get, fill in the blank, or overcome these challenges that they have, fill in the blank. And then instead of ending there, right, you would say through whatever means you help them do that. So through, the mission of Everyday Ayurveda, in fact, is to support Ayurvedic practitioners and students to build successful and transformative businesses for themselves, their clients, and their communities through one-on-one coaching, group programs, information products and services, and building an empowered culture of Ayurvedic practitioners. Right, so what you do statement plus your services. Your vision is essentially what you see. What is the world that you create when you fulfill your mission? If your mission statement is fulfilled, what is the world that you create? So what's your vision when you look at your community? What's the larger positive collective change that your business can help lead and can contribute towards? And what would look different so that it was easier for your clients to get more of their desired results and fewer of the challenges? So when I ask myself that for Everyday Ayurveda, when that mission of Everyday Ayurveda is fulfilled, the world I see is a world of Ayurvedic practitioners who are empowered and have this quality of leadership and can really enrich their communities. So that we've got hubs of practitioners all around the world who are helping to actively, consciously engage their communities to evolve health and consciousness. Collectively, we usher in a whole new era, a whole new age of health and consciousness. So that's my vision of what happens when the mission is fulfilled. There are some other parts of the vision. When these practitioners, when you are empowered to create successful and transformative businesses, you have more wealth. So more wealth is aligned with consciousness. More wealth, more power, aligned with consciousness. Another one of the very inspiring sort of meta goals or vision for Everyday Ayurveda. I like the world of billionaire Ayurvedic practitioners, much more. I trust that world to serve many more people and to create a sustainable future much more than the world of just billionaire oil executives and Wall Street executives, right? Another part of the vision that I see as the mission of Everyday Ayurveda is fulfilled is that we truly do have a more sustainable future. With that leadership, with that empowered quality, we're able to create more sustainable communities where local food systems are honored, valued, and strengthened, right? Where access to local herbs and natural medicine is strengthened, is increased. Where we have larger and larger groups and communities of people who are able to be established in the self, the true definition of health, swastha, right? They are no longer insane. They no longer have the massive pain and suffering, the destruction that comes through the ahamkara identified solely with the ego mind. Right, so these are all the different aspects, the unfolding of the vision. So ask yourself, what is your mission? What is your what you do statement through your services? When that mission is fulfilled, what world does that create? What happens in your community? Do that right now. See how big, how far you can go with it. How far can that stretch? Let yourself be intoxicated with that spirit of inspiration. Be in spirit. Be inspired. Because truly you do have that power. You've got the roadmap. You've got the community. You've got the culture. You've got the support. You have and are everything that you need to truly create the most positive, deep, meaningful change in your community. If not you, then who? If not you, then who? Who's waiting for you? Let's look a little bit at building partnerships, right? The other side of this coin. So with a clear and inspiring mission and vision in place, it's time to find partners. It's time to find partners. So in this section, we'll go ahead and talk about some of your potential partners, who to look for. Let's talk a little bit about creating these win-win-win relationships that benefit you, benefit your partners, and then provide this synergistic value and benefit to your mutual clients and to the community. And then let's talk a little bit about just managing and tracking partnerships, how to do that well, how to do that professionally. So first off, potential partners. We have three main sectors to our economy, to the systems, the different organizational bodies. They may be businesses that are for-profit. They may be non-profit organizations or NGOs, non-governmental organizations. Or they may be government agencies. Now, having worked with all three of these fairly extensively and helping to coordinate them through different projects that I've been involved in, different for-profit, non-profit groups that I've been a part of, I can tell you, if you haven't had experience with all three of these sectors, that they come from very different spaces. They come from very different mindsets, very different cultures. The business community tends to be, obviously it's for-profit. It's driven more by that individualistic, entrepreneurial spirit. It's creative, enthusiastic. Right? That tends to be something that characterizes the best aspects of the business community. The nonprofit, and obviously the motivation, for a business is to make a profit. That's sort of the definition of a business. Obviously, for a business to be fulfilling, you want to make an impact, and you want to make that profit through serving. That's kind of the measure of the success of a business. Is it financially viable? Is it successful? Nonprofits come from the space of being mission-oriented first and foremost. They're non-profit, right? So it's almost like the Buddha's definition of enlightenment. What is it? Is enlightenment? It's the end of suffering, right? So it tells you what they're not, but what they are is they could just as easily be called mission-centered. Right? They have missions that they are looking to fulfill. And that's where they come from. They come from, obviously, there's a lot of, oftentimes, an activism spirit there. The whole focus of the organization, of course, it actually does need to make money to be sustainable, to continue on, to grow its mission. But its lead energy is always going to be the mission. Government agencies get public money, right? Public money to help serve the community in some way. To help serve the community in some way. So, these government agencies are very much ruled by their budgets, their bureaucratic structure. Whenever I have through the Sacramento Sustainability Forum, for example, a nonprofit that I founded, and our mission was to bring together businesses, nonprofits, government agencies, interested citizens, and students to discuss and advance sustainability issues for the region. And whenever I would get a government speaker, that was always the hardest one to find, somebody that wasn't just going to be a sleeper, somebody that was actually going to be an engaged speaker. So the government world needs a lot of help, right, with creativity, ways to spend that money, and better achieve and accomplish their objectives. So as you enter into these three spaces, I think it's helpful to get a general feel of the culture that you're entering into, and know that your approach is probably going to be a little bit a little bit different for each of them. With businesses, you're going to focus a lot on, how can you work together to grow each other's business. With nonprofits, it's going to be all about how can you work together to deepen your mission and vision, to support each other's mission and vision, to help the community. And with government agencies, how can you help them spend their money more effectively? Or how can you help them achieve their objectives under budget, using less money, right? So enter into those three spaces, those three potential partner spaces, those general fields. And then, of course, know that, in any individual case, any one business, any one individual can totally break the mold. But it is helpful to know the culture. So with businesses, you're wanting to ask yourself, which businesses also serve a concentration of people in your niche and provide complementary services. Right? So when you're looking for potential partners in the business community, you basically want to ask yourself, where's my prospective market? Where else are they shopping? Are they buying? Who else shares them as a client? And you want to go for businesses that aren't going to consider themselves direct competition to you. So you would probably not be going to, say, another holistic healthcare provider that's focused on your niche. You may, but there's a different way that you want to approach that. When you're approaching someone who has a really similar service to you, that's going to be a deeper level of partnership. There's going to need to be more conversations. You just need to be more careful, more considerate, more conscious as you build those relationships. The easy partners are the ones that have overlap with your niche, have complementary services, but won't in any way really consider themselves any direct competition. Right? So, places where your clients are getting their clothes, their food, doing other physical things perhaps, taking yoga classes, exercising, anything like that, right, where your prospective clients are hanging out. Think of that as a prospective business partner. Then you have nonprofits. And what you want to ask yourself with nonprofits is when you sort of take which nonprofits are focused on health or have missions and visions aligned with yours. So which of them are already focused on health, community health, or have missions and visions aligned with yours? And you want to go to them and share your mission and vision, appreciate their mission and vision, and find out how you can support each other to do that much more good in the community. Government agencies, you want to ask yourself, which government agencies are receiving public money to help achieve objectives that are aligned with your mission and vision, right? So you might look into your public health services, anything really that has to do with health, physically, psychologically, emotionally, anything that's about preventing some of the challenges that you can help prevent. Look at their goals, look at their objectives, and ask yourself, is there a way that my business already helps or could help achieve these objectives? So when you approach, the first thing that you're going to do, and you'll have this as a homework, as a PDF homework assignment for this week, for this webinar, is to make a list of the businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies. Again, if you're locally focused, it's going to be in your community. If you're virtually focused, then the world is your oyster. Specifically, probably you're going to be focusing on those who have a stronger online presence if you're virtually focused. You're going to create a list of the businesses, nonprofits, and government agencies that would make really key potential partners. And once you have that list in place, you want to start researching them. Look at their websites, read up on them, see any stories that have been written about them. Look at their Facebook pages, look at their LinkedIn profiles, any of the key players, key people in the organization. Learn about them. Get to know about them. Find out their values. Get what makes them tick. Find out what they already say about their focus, about their mission, about their vision, right? And get a sense for what you think their needs might be. So just like in step 1 of this program, you learn to know your market. And once you picked a niche, you went out there and you found out what are their fears, frustrations, goals, desires. You want to do the same thing with approaching partners, right? What are their fears, frustrations, goals, desires? What are their needs? Learn as much as you can beforehand. Then once you feel like you have a good orientation towards them, approach them. There are 3 typical ways you can approach them. You can give them a call, you can email them, or you can go there in person. I recommend going in person. That has the most depth and the least span, right? The most span is getting an email. They probably get tons and tons of emails. There's a lot of span there, not as much depth. Fewer people probably give them a call directly, and the fewest number of people actually go there in person to meet them. So when you go there in person to meet them, or you call them, or you email them, I recommend that you lead in this order. First, focus on their needs. Make that the subject of the conversation, the subject of setting up a meeting. Know who you think is your most likely person to meet with. It might be the owner, if it's a business. It might be the executive director or whoever might be in charge of partnerships or community outreach for a nonprofit. For a government agency, it may be the director or the director of a specific program within that agency. So get a sense for who you're supposed to meet with, right? Most likely person. And focus the subject of the meeting, of scheduling a meeting, on their needs. So if it were a business and you were focusing the owner, you'd say, I'd love to set up a meeting to talk about how I can send you more clients or more customers. If it's a nonprofit, I'd like to set up a meeting with you to discuss how I may be able to get you more donors or more volunteers. If it's a government agency, I'd like to set up a meeting with you to discuss some ways that we might be able to help you meet more of these objectives while spending less money. I have some creative ideas. We have some proven, we have some track record around some ideas for how to do this. Right, so lead with their needs. Then when you actually have the meeting, again, focus entirely on their needs. Go deep just like you would with a one-on-one interview with a prospective client during your research. Ask them about their fears, their frustrations, their goals, their desires. Find out what's really driving them. And then focus mostly on the ideas that you have about how you can help meet their needs. Secondly, focus on why that is going to be good for their customers, their clients, the focus of their target market, or the community aspect that they're focused on. So focus first on the win for the partner, second on the win for your mutual clients or your mutual market, and then third on the win for yourself. So just as there's a preparation for the sales sadhana process about opening up your consciousness, your body, coming into a place of peace, of service, of really wanting this work for your clients, far more than you just want an extra client in your business, go into these partnerships with that same energy. You really want to serve your partner. You really want to, you really see and hold yourself as a leader and as a way to support your community. And just know, trust, that anything that you build is going to build goodwill and are going to build channels for clients to come into your business. So follow the PDF, follow the outlines for how to prepare for these meetings, approach these meetings, have these meetings, and then structure these win-win-win agreements. So here's a summary of it again, a win-win-win relationship. Research the organization you want to approach to learn about their history, their leadership, their goals, their values. Call, email, and visit them to set up a meeting with the appropriate person, follow up, focus on their needs, and then meet with them and build a plan that serves them, serves your mutual clients, and benefits your business. So when it comes to managing and tracking your partnerships, realize that this isn't a one-off event, right? You don't just like with a client, don't think of the client as just a one-hit experience. Really figure on developing this partnership, just like you would any important relationship. Nourish the relationship. Ultimately, you're going to want to dedicate a significant portion of the hours that you have available for working on your business to your partnerships. Right? Once you've designed a lot of your content, your programs, you've got a good working system in place, you've developed some good marketing channels and lead sources, that can always continue to take some of your time. You'll continue to want to refine things, add in new elements to your programs. But once you create a really core working system and program, and you've got some lead channels that are open and working, those won't demand as much of your time. In a lot of ways, you kind of just need to build those once, and then you can maintain them, evolve them. But they don't need to take as much time as they do up front. So as that time begins to open up that other half of your business hours that you focus on working on your business to really nourishing your partnerships. Just schedule that half-hour call. Stop by and visit them. See how they're doing. Ask, just stay connected. Do whatever you can. If it's again locally, become a hub, become a center. You might even have parties or events that you throw that bring your partners together. The leadership, the capacity, the space that you can build is only limited by your heart and by your imagination. So as you start growing into that, and you really get the sense that, as all of you will, again, if you just continue to implement wherever you are in your business right now, continue to build your systems, continue to build those lead channels, you will have as many one-on-one clients as you ever want to have. That'll be the first threshold. Then you'll have a steady stream of clients moving into your group programs. So once you have those structures in place, make partnerships your key focus. And if you're offering commissions, right, or donations, so commissions, which are basically the term for giving a percentage of your referred, the revenues that you make from referred clients. Commissions is going to mean that you're giving it to a business. Donations will mean that it's coming from a nonprofit, right? So it's the same structure, but if you're giving it to a business, it's a commission. If you're giving it to a nonprofit, it's a donation. If you're working with a government agency, you usually just, you take their money. You don't really give anything back to them other than your love and thanks and relationship, but they're not really going to be collecting money from your revenues, typically. So if commissions or donations are involved, then you want to use what's called affiliate software, affiliate programs, and good manual tracking methods as well to make sure that your partners are credited and paid. One of the most important things, obviously, in a relationship is trust. So if your partners are doing a good job of, if business is coming from them and it's part of the win-win-win relationship that you've developed, right, which is, again, both nonprofits and businesses both need money, so that's usually a great thing to be able to offer as part of your win-win-win relationship, is to be able to become an additional revenue stream for them, an additional income stream. Then you want to make sure that you're honoring that agreement by tracking it really well. Affiliate software does that for you by tracking links, anything that you do virtually online. And then manual tracking methods are important if the clients are coming in through other means. Again, one of the great benefits of using the landing page as a key portion of your system is that it's such an easy way for partners to send traffic to you, and they can use their affiliate link, which means that all that tracking is automatically taken care of for you. But anytime that's not going to be the case, if you've got manual referrals coming in, then you want to make sure to put in good manual tracking methods. Where did people hear about you? And when they say that they heard about you from a client, or from a partner, make sure that you have a place where you fill that in, you credit that, you track that. Partners that are getting credited and paid in addition to their clients getting additional value from your services and coming back and telling them, thank you so much for making that introduction to me. That is the best world possible, right? Where they're really seeing that this is providing mutual value, additional goodwill for their clients, and they're making money from it. It's an additional income stream. So see the business resources section for some tools that I recommend around affiliate software tracking and programs. And again, just always ask us, wherever you are in your business, make sure to reach out and say, what seems like the best fit for what we're doing and where we're at. Bring that to our coaching calls, and you make sure that you make the choice that's the right fit for where you are and what you're doing. So here, week 12, final week of this program. Group programs and partnerships. Here's the implementation homework to really take away and implement this. And again, I want to say this is important. This is where your business becomes bigger than you, bigger than your individual clients. It can really develop a life of its own. It can leave a lasting legacy that is much bigger than the founder. So number one, keep working on your homework. Keep working on everything that we've already covered. Continue to deepen, continue to implement. Whatever your next step is, that's a step to take. So don't ever feel that you're behind. You're always exactly where you are, which is the right place for you to be. Get clear on what your next step is, and if you're having challenges getting clear about that, bring it to your mastermind group. Bring it to our weekly coaching calls. Ask for your next step, and always focus on that. If you continue to focus on your next step and implement, you have no place else to go but success. The next thing is to use the template to create your mission and your vision statements. You ultimately end up building into more of a 4-page blog website, then these are things that can go onto your About page. You may end up even creating a partners page, and this is a great thing to include on a partners page, your mission and your vision. Obviously, that's a big part of the glue that holds you together with your partner, being able to share in a mission and vision. The third is to create a list of potential partners that you're going to reach out and contact. You're going to email, call, and visit. You can do that for all 3 sectors. You'll probably have your most potential, and just in terms of number of span, will probably be businesses, other businesses, for-profit businesses. And then secondly, nonprofits. There tend to be more of those. And you may just have one government agency, 1 or 2, depending on your region of focus, that's really relevant to reach out to. But I don't want to underemphasize that. Having a great relationship with a local government agency can be extremely powerful. There's a lot of credibility there. There's a lot of influence. So even though there's, again, depth and span, right? Depth and span. For post a comment on the blog, keep the conversation going. whenever you're listening to this webinar, any of the webinars, make a note, just comment, leave your mark. Helps to reinforce what you're learning, helps to build motivation, helps to keep the conversation going. And of course, as always, 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 continue to value and meet with your mastermind group. We talk about culture, and that's one of your most immediate centers of culture. Continue to be a leader in your mastermind group. Bring the focus, bring the clarity. Every week, make sure that the time is being divided up, that you're staying focused on the intention of the mastermind group for each person to get a chunk of that time and to share what actions you're taking, what results you're getting, the challenges that you have, either inner or outer challenges, the support that you'd like to ask for, right, and the feedback that you want to get, and then leave each mastermind session stating your clear action step, your next step for the week. What's your objective for the week? What step are you going to take? And then use your group for that accountability. Bring that back to the group. Others in your group, if people are coming back and they set that intention last week, and now they've prioritized other things other than that main objective, ask them why. Ask them how that happened. Use it as an opportunity to co-coach. It's not criticizing. It's not, one-upping or parenting in any way. It's shared accountability. It's a community of support. So lead it, be a part of it, contribute to it. And now let's go to questions. Let's go ahead and talk about the content that we've covered here and dig on in. All right, Carly. Hi, Jacob. Great work tonight. Feeling totally inspired. Haven't heard back about setting up the opt-in page, so please let Mark know I'm ready when he is. Sure did. Again, submit that through the website request form on the Ayurveda Mastermind. If it didn't go through, we'll find out what's going on there. But yeah, Mark is on that. They actually had I believe, a holiday or something. So yes, I look forward to you connecting and making that happen. So Christine, your question is how long do we have to access the website, the videos, etc.? And this applies just for this live group right now, as I shared in the email, and I'll be reaching out to each of you individually. We keep this open for another 2 weeks, and then, but basically it's open indefinitely. We just need to transition you over into the monthly Mastermind membership program, right? Which is our ongoing, that's our continuity program, as we just talked about tonight. That's the ongoing community of support, of implementation, of group coaching. It's your mastermind group. It's the most important thing to have in your schedule on a weekly basis. Really get that. So prioritize your mastermind group, prioritize our weekly coaching calls. Think of it as an investment in your business that gives you a bigger return than really anything else you could do. So just as we started with creating your ideal schedule, right, consciously creating your ideal schedule, make this a part of your conscious ideal schedule. Prioritize the weekly mastermind groups, prioritize the weekly coaching calls. You will get so much out of it, and you will never stop getting things out of it. If you ever do stop getting things out of it, just ask yourself, what am I not bringing here? What question am I not asking? What leadership am I not bringing? But hold this as your community, right, that you are co-creating. So long answer to the short question, but basically in the next couple weeks, I'll transition each of you over to the mastermind, and it'll give me a chance also to have a one-on-one conversation with you, because with many of you, I haven't gotten that chance, and I I just want to have a chance to connect with you and to really, more than anything, certainly answer any questions that you have about moving forward, but to share my gratitude for you being a part of this community and for allowing this program to be. It wouldn't happen without you. So Carly, your next question, giving a speech on healthy living on Friday to a group of 50 people. Any suggestions? They're asking for dietary info, and my program is skincare based. Should I tie it together? Yeah, I think for sure tie it together. And I would say, first and foremost, those are the exact sorts of questions to bring to our weekly group coaching calls. So that would be a perfect subject of conversation for us. As far as a quickie question, a quickie answer to it, I would say, yeah, of course. Whatever their doorway in, whatever they're asking for, whatever their biggest want is, lead with that. Lead with that. And that's great. A group of 50 people, I'd say the biggest thing, of course, is structure. Structure your program. Why, what, how, what if. Why, what, how, what if. Use the 4 learning styles. So make sure that you start the program with a very clear and compelling why. If you learn and implement what I'm going to be sharing with you today, you're going to be getting these benefits. You're going to be overcoming these challenges. If you don't learn and implement what I'm going to be sharing with you, then you're probably not going to get these benefits. Fill in the blanks. And you're probably going to get a lot more of these challenges, which tend to get worse over time. That will get everybody's attention. It makes it immediately relevant. It opens the consciousness up. Right? It makes it very clear, concrete, specific, emotional, results-oriented. All of the 4 factors that add, value. Then talk about the what. Really organize your thoughts into the behavioral, theory of change. Talk about the challenges that they have. Talk about the behaviors that create those challenges and why and how that is. Get it from a Western angle, get it from an Ayurvedic perspective, use any statistics, case studies, anything that you can to build the case. And then do the same thing for the desired results. What are the desired results that they'd want? What impact would that have? What are the big ideas, big leverage behaviors that are going to help them get there? And how and why is that the case? Again, reinforce it from a Western and Ayurvedic perspective. Use case studies, statistics, stories, anything that you can to really make that strong. Overwhelmingly build the case. Then whatever the biggest idea that you have is the main leverage thing, tell them exactly how to do that one thing as a starting place. Give them that recipe of action steps. That's the how. First do this, then do this, then do this. And then, of course, the biggest thing with this opportunity that you have with these 50 prospective clients in front of you, give them that doorway in to becoming a committed, happily paying client. Give them your free session offer. Give it a really clear, compelling name, right, that adds perceived value to it. And let them know, I want to help as many of you as possible really implement what you've learned here today. And to do that, I'll offer a free session offer. There are 50 of you. So I may not be able to work with all of you, but I'll work with as many of you as I can on a first-come, first-served basis. So to tell them about the free session offer, in this free session, we're going to help you clarify your goals and your vision for your skin and for your health and for your diet. And we are going to set some key milestones that let you know that you're moving in that direction. We're going to uncover any of the hidden challenges they probably have in the past and probably will going forward if they're not aware of you, if they're not in your consciousness, that will sabotage your success. So that by the end of this session, you're going to feel a lot more clear. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel motivated to move forward. End with that and schedule them right there on the spot. Fill your schedule. Fill your schedule. Get as many one-on-one clients as you want out of it. and put the rest into groups, or put them all into groups and make the one-on-one, a higher tier. That's my thought for you, Carly. Rolinda, will all the information be up for us for a while to review at our leisure? Yeah, Rolinda, just as I was sharing, it'll be up indefinitely. For this particular program, right, for what we've covered here, we're going to have 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks it's open. But then I'm hoping that all of you will transition into the monthly mastermind membership, because that's, this is our community. This is what we can continue to grow and evolve. And I'm going to continue to fill in the gaps, any blanks. I'm just going to continue to add to that. If we develop some new concepts, new strategies, anything there, it will be ongoing, evolving. All of our weekly group coaching calls, it's really the space to, it's kind of, now it's built, right? So now all of our focus is just on implementation. You've gotten as far as you've gotten over these last 12 weeks, and wherever you are is the right spot for you. But really don't consider it the end. It's a transition just into the next beginning. So again, I'll reach out, I'll connect with each of you personally to make sure we get to have that conversation. And Carol, Jacob, thank you so much for all of this incredible information that you've given in such a concise and clear way. I look forward to growing my practice with this structure when I move to LA. And Carol, thank you again. You're a part of this. We're co-creating this, and I look forward to that as well. Wherever you are, wherever you land, you have so much to offer. This is a very clear path. You have everything that you need, and I hope to always be a part of that. That our group, our community, can always be a part of that. And what I'd suggest is that you don't even create a gap. Continue to stay a part of this community. Continue to work on all these pieces. Make it so that when you get to LA, you've got something you're ready to press the go button on. You can do everything through steps 1, 2, and 3, and that has nothing to do with your location. So you can have everything ready to go, steps 1, 2, and 3, so that when you get down to LA, you just basically press the on switch, and you've got yourself, waiting list practice, a great business there. So don't start from scratch. Keep working, keep building. And then more question here. Is the information that you talked about today more for when we have gotten the foundation of our business going? It would seem like it would be something you would do later on once you feel like you have established your own program. Yeah, some people recommend reaching out to partners right away. In my experience, again, a first impression it can mean a lot, right? And so I put it as step 5 for a reason. Right? It's like you've already tested your system. You already know it works. You've already got a body of satisfied clients, of testimonials, of happily referring clients. It's got this great, body that you can build on. And then you're going to the partner, and because partners want to know that. They want to know that if they're going to get involved with you, that they're getting involved with something reputable. So I think the strongest time to start building partnerships is step 5. And even though it will and can and will become one of your most powerful lead sources, I recommend really developing some of the other lead sources before focusing on partners. Really let step 1, 2, 3, and 4 be what they are to build you a sustainable model, a system that's just working, generating, and then you've got something there to stand on to walk out and bring the partners. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that you hold the vision, you hold the space, you know where you're going, you can have the map so that you can get there, but know that, yeah, it comes with step 5. So Carly, thank you, and you're welcome. And Rolinda, the monthly mastermind, that includes your weekly meetings with your mastermind group. It includes our weekly coaching calls, of which I'm probably going to have 2 of them. I will be leading most of them, and then Mark will be leading some of them as well. So Mark's coaching calls will focus on Specific internet marketing questions, also really specifically your tech questions, anything that you have around web tools, web development. You'll have those chances to have those calls with Mark so that he can answer those really specifically for you. You know, regardless, whoever it is, just use the coaching request form on the Mastermind site, submit those. So those are the main ingredients. You get access to whatever we continue to develop on the membership site. You get the weekly coaching calls with us, and we might do 2 or more of those each week. So you'll have a lot of options, different times to get in. You get direct coaching through those. And then you've got your mastermind group. Those are the main elements: the site, the coaching calls, your mastermind group. And because I'm recording this and making this, making this sort of timeless, Carol's question is, what is the cost of the membership program, the monthly membership program? And I'll answer that. I'll send that out in the emails. I've actually already shared it in emails, but I'll share it again. And I'll also, contact each of you individually and talk about that and answer any questions that you have. And I'm not going to say it on the recording right now, just in case it changes in any way in the future. But yeah, I will definitely answer that question for each of you. And Rolinda, yes, thanks, Jacob. I really feel this was beneficial at all levels. Thank you, Rolinda. I'm very glad of that. And filling you in on the monthly mastermind program. Yeah, so any other specific questions you have about any of those parts that I just described, happy to answer those. I can definitely speak to some of those now. And also, as I said, I'm going to reach out to each of you individually so that you feel totally clear about going forward. And then Christine, could you please tell again the dates of the next classes, how many are left? So this is the final webinar in the Grow Your Ayurvedic Business program. And what I'm going to do, like one of our mastermind calls, almost certainly, I'll just replace this time. Since a lot of you have gotten into the routine, you probably already set this up in your schedule to have this same time available and free. We'll make one of the weekly coaching calls here as well as the other one that I have earlier in the week. So I'll make sure that all that schedule is organized, that you know it all. And as I said, the very first thing I would recommend doing, very, very smart business move, personal growth move is to take those weekly coaching calls, plant them in your schedule as a recurring event, and prioritize it. Move what you need to, make it an important thing to attend. You'll get so much out of them. Michelle says, can't believe this is the last webinar. I just got into the habit. Learned a lot, and I know I will continue to learn in this fascinating process step by step. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, thank you, Michelle. And I feel the same way. It's an ongoing evolution. There really is no end to the depth that we can go to within ourselves. The consciousness, the presence, the space. It's endless. The depth as well as the impact. How far you can go with taking your work in the world. So that's why I hope you will all hold that there really isn't like an end place. There's no place where you stop getting value out of this community. And if you ever do think that you've kind of hit a point like that, then I hope you'll make me, one commitment, one promise, is that you'll tell me about that you'll let me know, that we can have that conversation, so that either I can continue to evolve our community to find out what that next level of value is for you, right? If you've crossed over that tier, that threshold, we need to create something new, and we can do that together. Or, again, it might be that there's a question you're not asking, or there's an aspect of leadership you're not bringing. There's some way that, something on the inside there is creating an inner obstacle to that next leap, that next step forward. So you all promise me that, if you're listening to this now as a recording or live, that if any time you stop getting value out of what we're doing, you let me know. And then Rolinda, will they be taped? They were at times. I couldn't be here. Yeah, what we've got going on right now is we're going to be building just a massive archive of all of the weekly coaching calls, right? All the weekly coaching calls. So those are all on the membership site. Under, it says weekly, it says coaching calls archive. So there's going to be more there than you can probably ever listen to. But I think that's a great idea. If you can't make it 1 week live, make that your first priority, is to make the coaching calls live. If you can't make it 1 week live, then you might have another wrap-up time in your schedule a week where you give yourself just focus space to listen to the recording. I promise you, those have been just fantastic, such great deep calls. You will get something out of them each time, live or recorded. And thank you for all of you who are responding to that promise, to that commitment. It's not a commitment, it's not a commitment just to me. It's a commitment, obviously, it's a commitment to you and to you creating that. And I'll make that same commitment. My commitment is to continue to be responsive, to continue to be as tuned in as I can possibly be, to continue to surrender into this process, to any and all feedback that our community offers, right? The stuff that's easy and fun to hear, as well as the stuff that, where there's a lack, where there's a gap, to receive that all openly, equally, in my heart, in my mind, and to continue to take action and implement to support all of you to create exactly what you want to create in your business, in your life, in your communities, with your clients, and to grow and deepen as a collective. So that ultimately our field, our Ayurveda, our science of life, can touch all human hearts and minds as we really usher in this next age. We're right on a threshold. Our Vedas tell us of the yugas, ages of time, and we are on a threshold moving into what's called the ascending Dwapara Yuga. So we are officially moving out into Dwapara proper, moving out of an age of materialism, out of an age of just matter consciousness, into an age of energy. And I am on board. So come with me. I'm coming with you. I'm here. How do you spell that? I'm guessing you mean yuga. Yuga is Y-U-G-A. And the yuga that we're in is the second of the four. There are ascending yugas and descending yugas. All of our Vedas, our Ayurveda, all of our texts were written during the descending Dwapara Yuga, which is spelled D-W-A-P-A-R-A, Dwapara. So if you think about those times, those ages, it was about hanging on to the wisdom of the past as there was a deeper and deeper descent into materialism, sort of darkness. But now we're in an ascending yuga, greater and greater light and consciousness. We're stepping into greater and greater light and consciousness and expansion. So instead of just a holding on to the wisdom of the past, there's an unfolding of the wisdom of the past in a new, living, breathing reality. And so many of us that are tuned into this and are not resisting it, right, that are surrendering into this process can feel that wave, can feel it carrying us all forward. So be a part of it, actively engage it, help lead it. Got about 5 more minutes. If there are any other questions, anything else that you'd like to ask, anything else that you'd like to say before we close this webinar up, you can go ahead and do that now. And if not, we'll go ahead and leave it on that note. Know that this isn't the end. There's no time, scarcity here. We've got all the time in the world to continue growing, developing, and deepening as much as we're able to spend here. And then, of course, we have reality, the eternal now. And Michelle, thanks so much. She says, when I'm a billionaire, I won't forget you. That is the spirit. Yeah. So much love to all of you, so much gratitude for being a part of this program, for being a part of this community, for doing your work, the outer implementation, the inner resolution of any inner obstacles, any place where your consciousness is out of alignment with the world that you're wanting to create. Thank you so much. Om Namaste.